You're watching Alaska's news source.
If we do start getting rain coming down, exercise extreme caution and stay home if you're able.
We start tonight with extreme weather happening now across South Central. We have team coverage, heavy snow, wind, and even rain is in the forecast. We have meteorologist Jackie Purcell and Lexi Elverton standing by to bring us details on the latest road conditions and impacts. But first, we go to Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry for the latest on this major winter storm.
Yeah, Rebecca, we are seeing just a huge surge of moisture pushing here into South Central. Let's get right to that radar tonight. You can see heavy rain across Prince William Sound, heavy snow across Turnagain Pass into the Anchorage Bowl and into portions of the valley. But we're also starting to see that transition to rain far west and north sides of Anchorage, also pushing into Wasilla. That area that's in green showing that now liquid precipitation is going to spread here as we head into the overnight hours. It's already been 1,600 of an inch of precipitation in Anchorage, much heavier down into Portage Valley, over an inch there, approaching 4 inches at this hour in Cordova just since midnight. And again, there is more coming. Now, meteorologist Jackie Purcell is standing by live tonight in Midtown with a closer look at the conditions there. Now, Jackie, we have really seen that snow picking up here in the last hour. Are you still seeing snow where you are? Are you seeing some transition to rain?
Well, we're definitely seeing the snow come down pretty good. I am just at the intersection of Benson where traffic is heading east, and also Denali, which is right behind me. And I've heard a little bit of slipping at the intersections, not necessarily when people are driving, but the sound of the intersection is that it sounds kind of slushy. And of course, that's not hard to think of that since the temperature is 33 degrees, but you can see that it's wet out there. And we do anticipate those temperatures to warm, so we'll be watching that closely. But as of now, we are still seeing that snowfall here into the Anchorage area. Midtown seeing it snow, but it's kind of a wet snow. And I would say just take it slow and easy, give plenty of distance to the car in front of you. And you need extra time to prepare your car, extra gear for winter weather, and extra patience during these conditions. So stay safe out there, South Central.
All right, meteorologist Jackie Purcell again there in Midtown for us tonight. I want to show you temperatures across the city, all hovering right near that freezing mark, up to 33 at this hour out at the airport, still 32 downtown, 32 as you head on the south side, even below freezing on the east side and hillside and into Eagle River at 30 degrees. So again, temperatures right now still close to that freezing mark, a bit warmer as you head up into the valley, not by much warmer conditions. So as you head out across Prince William Sound, that's where we're seeing that all rain. Again, overnight tonight, we are going to see those temperatures warm as we continue to see heavy precipitation. That's why we have such a large number of warnings in effect. Everything from high wind warnings near Cordova and Yakutat to blizzard warnings through Thompson Pass, and those winter storm warnings again in effect here for the Cop River Basin, with winter weather advisories for the valley and for the Kenai Peninsula, and that winter storm warning right here in Anchorage. Again, this is going to stick with us through the night with that transition from snow to heavier rain overnight tonight as those temperatures continue to climb. Road conditions only going to get worse before they get better as we continue to see very wet conditions through the night into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will fall once we get into Thursday afternoon, and we'll see scattered snow showers through the second half of your Thursday. I'll have a closer look at your individual forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much. And the Richardson Highway is closed over Thompson Pass. Hazardous conditions created reduced visibility. The Department of Transportation says drivers cannot pass the Richardson Highway from mileposts 19 to 63. There's heavy snow and wind in the area because of the winter storm. DOT anticipates the road could open in the morning, but they will assess that situation before making a decision. The latest road conditions are available 24/7 on Alaska's 511. And as the snowstorm moves in, it makes dangerous driving conditions on our roads. Lexi Elverton is live in Midtown with the current conditions and what snowplow crews are doing as this next round of snow comes through.
Rebecca, I'm on the corner of Tudor and Old Seward, and the snow is just coming down. It can be described as wet and heavy, and it's also melting super fast, so it's important to drive safe on these slippery roadways. And municipal crews are continuing to plow residential areas. That's according to Paul Van Landingham, the street maintenance manager with the Muni. Justin Shelby with the Department of Transportation says they're preparing for the heavy snow. As of today, Shelby says all highways have been cleared of snow from the previous snowstorm. Depending on how much snow is received tonight, DOT and Muni crews will reevaluate what needs to be plowed.
Well, we do have snow coming down right now and possibly rain in the forecast. With the hard-packed snow on the ground, water on top of that can be very, very dangerous. So if we do start getting rain coming down, exercise extreme caution and stay home if you're able.
You know, all day we've been preparing for the rain. So here about an hour ago, we decided to switch gears and we're just going to keep plowing. And we'll see what Mother Nature hands us and we'll react accordingly.
The municipality of Anchorage and DOT are urging people to use extra caution when driving around on roads. And I'll have the full report tonight at 10. Rebecca.
And keep up on a weather app to stay up to date as the conditions change overnight and into the morning. You can find the Alaska's Weather Source app in your app store. We have new reaction after an intense assembly meeting. Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson responds today. Last night, the assembly tried to stall an agreement his administration made with an operator involving the Sullivan Arena. Steve Kirch has this story.
Rebecca, Mayor Bronson is echoing today what he said last night. His administration did nothing illegal when it signed an agreement between O'Malley Ice and Sports to operate the Sullivan, Ben-Boke, and Dempsey Anderson Ice Arena. The mayor said he did not need to seek assembly approval because it's an operating contract. But some assembly members countered that the contract needed assembly approval because it has the characteristics of a lease agreement. According to the agreement, O'Malley would have operating control of the venues for 5 years with an extension option to add another 5 years. Additionally, the municipality would need to give 36-month notice to the operator to terminate the contract. Bronson says it is a good contract.
We got to remember, that building, I think the number is $347,000 a year. Just keep the heat on. Just keep the building open. But there's a money component. I got to pay the bills. And we can't have great big buildings sitting around costing us money and not generating revenue. So it's a win-win. I'm still trying to figure out why there's a controversy here, but...
Later tonight at 6, I'll tell you what the Assembly is planning to do next regarding what it sees as a loophole in the municipal code regarding the mayor's office and contracts.
More progress has been made in the plan to get body-worn cameras to Anchorage police officers. The process has become contentious over the few months. Now APD says that the body-worn cameras have arrived. The department posted a photo on social media yesterday showing the boxes stacked up. There's been controversy over a plan detailing when and how footage from the cameras should be released. APD's Facebook post says trainers will be in town next week. And when we come back, sentencing postponed. Details on the intense testimony in Anchorage and the case of a man accused of defrauding people in a Ponzi-like scheme.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, there was intense testimony today from the people who say an Anchorage man stole all their money. So much outcry that the judge didn't get enough time to complete the proceedings, so the sentencing is postponed until next week. Garrett Elder is accused of defrauding people out of millions of dollars in a Ponzi-like scheme. He was in federal court for his sentencing today. Now, through his companies, authorities say Elder took $30 to $34 million from about 140 investors, mostly from Alaska, and he allegedly lost about $25 million of that money. The courtroom was packed several times during victim impact statements. People in the crowd cried. One man said to Elder, "You're an amazing con artist." Another person saying Garrett Elder is that serial liar. This is what people said a few weeks ago when Elder changed his plea to guilty.
We were supposed to retire in December, and we are not. We are lucky, unlike some of our friends, which I did mention in my testimony. She is left with nothing but Social Security, and she's a widow.
Another victim looked Elder in the eyes this afternoon and asked, quote, "How did we give you all the power to destroy us?" And turning to the latest unofficial results from yesterday's Mat-Su Borough election, Rob Yunt is running unopposed for Assembly District 4 seat. He is sitting with about 89% of the vote, with about 11% going to write-ins. For District 5, Bill Gamble has a nearly 17% lead over the incumbent, and that's more than 200 votes of a margin. Now in District 6, the incumbent takes the lead by a wide margin, more than 50% of the vote. Stafford Gleason is the closest competitor with nearly 23%. In the school board race, Kathy McCullum has 67% of the vote. For District 3, Sydney Zayas has nearly 33. District 6, Ole Larson is leading. It's nearly a 300-vote margin. Larson has more than 57% of the vote. And there was one proposition on the ballot with unofficial results. More than 67% of voters say yes to transportation bonds. In all of those numbers, they are not official. You can keep up to date on the latest results on alaskasnewssource.com and on our app. We also have the unofficial results for yesterday's Denali borough election.
And coming up after the break, I'll have all the details again on that local forecast, the storm impacts you should expect where you are. Again, we have this major storm moving through with snow at this hour, transitioning to rain overnight. We'll look at the warnings in effect after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching Alaska's Weather Source.
Hey, welcome back. If you're just joining us, again, we are tracking this major winter storm making its way across South Central tonight. Sticking with us through Thursday, we are going to see a transition from snow to rain, likely here overnight. Snowfall totals, we're talking 4 to 14 inches. That's a massive range. And that is true for most of South Central. That 14 number, that's what I expect on the Anchorage hillside and areas that do not transition to rain or for not very long. 4 inches is more likely on the north and east sides of town and down on the Kenai Peninsula on the west side, where we will see less precipitation, but also better chances for rain. That is also true for much of the valley as well. Either way, no matter if it's snow or rain, you are going to see difficult travel conditions here across South Central. We're talking blowing snow. We're talking that heavy snow as we speak, and that transition to ice and rain overnight, all contributing to that potential for flooding as we head into early tomorrow morning. Looking at the radar right now, seeing snow for most, but not all of the Anchorage Bowl. We are already seeing a transition to rain just to the west of Ted Stevens, out near J-Bear, and into portions of Wasilla. The rest of the area is seeing snow, but that area that's highlighted there in green is likely going to expand overnight tonight, with most of West and North Anchorage seeing the best chances for rain. Up the Glen Highway and into the valley, seeing chances again for that transition to rain. Again, this is a really impressive storm attached to really an atmospheric river. You can see all of this moisture extending all the way down into the Pacific and spreading all the way even to the slope from this one area of low pressure. So that is why we have so many of those weather warnings and advisories in place. Again, everything from high wind warnings and wind advisories to the north and down south, and then also seeing those winter storm warnings and blizzard warnings in effect here for most of South Central, with winter weather advisories as well. So here's the timing of this. This area of low pressure pushing to the north here through the night. That precipitation is going to continue to increase for most of us as it does. We will see, again, heavy snowfall here through the evening in Anchorage. But as we head into those overnight hours, I do expect more of that rain to start mixing in. Again, especially for West Anchorage, north side into the valley. As we head into Thursday, it's going to be a wintry mix through the morning before eventually transitioning back to snow showers as we head into Thursday afternoon. Temperatures, they do warm overnight, but then they drop pretty quick as we head into Thursday afternoon and Friday as we continue to see snow showers in the area. So again, we are looking at some impressive precipitation totals, whether it's rain or snow. Again, seeing that number of 6 to 9 inches here for much of Anchorage. You notice that number doesn't change overnight because that's when the rain is falling, but then it will start to increase once we get into later Thursday and heading into Friday. So let's look at those warnings. Again, down into southeast, warm for you. It's going to be an all rain event, heavy rain still, even heading into tomorrow. But again, I want to show you that high wind warning that we do have in effect. So for Prince of Wales Island, also now in effect for Yakutat, wind gusts to 65 miles per hour there. Across the Kenai Peninsula, again, the most extreme conditions are near Turnagain Pass, but we also have a winter weather advisory in effect for the western side of the Kenai Peninsula for snow, blowing snow as well. Again, we are seeing blizzard conditions through Thompson Pass. That's where the highway is closed at this hour. Winter storm warning for the Cop River Basin, and that high wind warning for Cordova, again, looking at wind gusts there to 85 miles per hour. In the valley, again, continuing to see that snow mostly tonight. but transitioning to rain overnight near Wasilla and Palmer, further to the north and further east, likely to hold on to snow a little bit longer. We will see temperatures back into the mid-40s there by tomorrow afternoon. And for the Anchorage Bowl, that winter weather advisory has been updated to a winter storm warning. Again, seeing heavy snow tonight, transitioning to rain overnight. Some breezy winds mainly for the hillside. And again, seeing that snow at this hour down through Turnagain Arm. Should we see this melting, that's when we'll start to see those flooding concerns into early tomorrow morning. Eventually, we get a break with much cooler conditions into this weekend. But again, Rebecca, just really important that you're safe on those roads tonight and tomorrow.
Absolutely. Still ahead, pandas get a view of Alaska's snowstorm today as they make their way back to China. America's favorite pandas are headed to China with a quick stop in Anchorage. The trip marks the end of panda diplomacy. The beloved bears have been on display at the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C. The three giant pandas, Mei Xiang, Tian Tian, and their son, Shei Chi, left the East Coast today on the FedEx Panda Express, a custom Boeing 777F aircraft. Animals were loaded onto custom crates for their 19-hour trans-Pacific flight from D.C. to China this morning. The beloved pandas have been a sensation at the National Zoo for 5 decades.
I mean, this is something that we have prepared for all of their lives, all of our lives. But these animals are very special to us. Today, it's been a sad day. It's been a sad week.
And the panda's 19-hour flight to China included a quick refueling stop in Anchorage, but unfortunately, the bears never got off the plane dubbed the FedEx Panda Express. We are told the animals are traveling comfortably in custom-made crates and that they have plenty of bamboo on board to make sure they stay full on the flight. Millions of Americans have visited the pandas. The zoo's giant panda program started in 1972 when China lent 2 bears to the U.S. after First Lady Pat Nixon commented on how much she loved them during President Nixon's historic visit. The bears are returning because the Smithsonian's institution's current agreement with the Chinese government has expired. Still ahead, Melissa has a look at the forecast. Mike Ross is here with the story coming up tonight at 6.
Rebecca, the Last Frontier Honor Flight is celebrating its 10th anniversary of taking Alaska-based service members to the nation's capital. And recently, Alaska's news source had a team that went with the veterans to Washington, D.C., where World War II, Korean, and Vietnam War-era veterans got to visit the memorials that were built in their honor. On Friday, a special report called Taking Flight, honoring Alaska's veterans, will air at 6:30 on Channel 2. Tonight, we'll speak with one of our reporters who went to Washington, D.C. to get more details regarding that amazing journey. And in case you missed it, on Sunday, Alaska's news source honored our military veterans with a closer look at the many challenges they face after their service. Our special program called A New Mission, A Life After Military Service, takes a look at their complex lives and challenges as people find new ways to serve after their military service. You can watch that special on our website. Just go to alaskasnewssource.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. And my goodness, you have so much going on right now.
I don't know that I've ever seen this many of a variety of warnings and advisories for South Central in my time here. It's just really impressive, this storm. Again, just bringing different impacts depending on where you are. Mainly, that's because of the variety of temperatures we're seeing and also of wind speed. So take a look again at that 7-day forecast. We are going to continue to see heavy snow tonight, transitioning to rain overnight, a wintry mix tomorrow morning, and then snow showers through the afternoon. So starting out with temperatures near 40 degrees, dropping through the day. We will likely see additional snow showers on Friday. Then we dry out, clear out for the weekend. Temperatures do get back below freezing, so any ponding, any water that we're seeing will definitely turn into a hard freeze as we head into this weekend with teens overnight. Additional chances for snow a couple times next week as well. But really, it's the next 24 hours that are going to be the most icy here in Anchorage Bowl and across South Central.
Ooh, so much going on, and the snow is so thick at this point right now, too.
Yeah, just be safe.
Absolutely. All right, be safe, everyone. Have a great night.